Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the Fantastic Four First Steps Human Torch. Not Johnny Storm. Well, I mean, it is Johnny Storm, but we had two figures in this wave, right? We got a Johnny Storm and then a flame-on Human Torch. This video, we're going to focus on the Human Torch version of Johnny Storm, and I'm looking forward to this one because the Human Torch flame-on versions are always really fun. We have a couple of other versions that we've already gotten from Hasbro, so we have this one here, and I know there are older ones, but I don't have any of those. I'm only going to focus on the ones from the start of Infinite series on. So we got the Walgreens exclusive here, and then we have the vintage release. That is that one there, and I'm trying to think, was the no, that was the regular release, but the Johnny Storm was the Hasbro Pulse exclusive, I believe. So we got a couple of different flame-on versions, so I'm excited to kind of go through this. Obviously, there are some similarities in terms of color and flames coming out of the head, things like that, obviously, which makes sense, right? We got a flame piece that goes on the back, similar to these two other ones that we've got. We got flames coming out of the hands, flames coming out of the forearms, so those are kind of all to be expected there. So there's not much different in there other than the flames look a little bit different, and then obviously this one is going to be textured to the suit because it's basically just the same thing as this one, just some translucent things going on there. The forearms, no, I think those are clip-on pieces, but the hands are obviously different because he's got flames coming out of them, and then I think he just has added on accessory pieces there for the boots. So we're going to take a look at the Human Torch. So we got the Fantastic Four, Marvel Studios, MCU, First Family logo there on the front. You got Human Torch there on the side. You can see that artwork of Joseph Quinn, Human Torch, Johnny Storm. Here on the back, you get Human Torch, Johnny Storm, and then you get the logo icon for the Human Torch there. Then the Thing, Visible Woman, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. Let's open it up. Let's take a look. All right, so here is the Human Torch figure out of the package, and yeah, it's typical flame on Johnny Storm. It's a lot of fun. There's some interesting things going on with these flames that I want to talk about because I think they might be glued on, but maybe not. Some cool stuff, and then, you know, depending on what kind of lighting situation you could do, you can really get him to glow. If you got it underneath, I got this one up underneath him, you know, just to kind of glow a little bit. So you can do a lot of fun stuff and kind of making it work. But let's get all these lights on and let's take a look at Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. Okay, so here's the up-close look at Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. And this one is probably going to be the best figure in the wave. We'll see how the Thing is. I have that on the way from Big Bad Toy Store. We'll see how that one's going to be, but I'm really liking this figure. I think it's awesome. You know, I think translucent figures, for whatever reason, they just seem cooler, right? Like, or this one hotter, right? That was terrible. No, forget I said that. Forget I said that. But here we have Johnny Storm, and I just think he looks awesome. We got the orange eyes in there, and one thing that's subtle that I don't know if you could really see, I think you could kind of see it, and it initially it just looks like darker orange. Those are like painted lines on his face. Like the digital print, you get the yellow eyes, but you have lines in his face. So think of like old school classic Human Torch, right? You got the black lines in his body, right? That's what, like, that's known, that's the thing. That's what we see. That's how we know, right? So picture that, like, on his face. Like, in his face, you're going to see those lines. And you get it in the figure as well. So you get the line work in there. You get them on the shoulder here. On the shoulder there. A little bit on the legs. It's hard to see because the suit is textured, so it kind of blends in with the texturing of the suit. But you get those black lines. And then in his face, that's where you get it. So when it looks darker in his face, it's because there's painted lines in there. That is awesome. Looks great. The hair looks awesome. We got the lighter orange and, you know, kind of gradient into a darker orange there. Just how actual flames would be. That is awesome. The figure, the body of the figure is just done in an orange color. Like just straight up orange. All of that there. But the little extra flame pieces have that gradient like flame look to it. So you got the hair on there. Then you get this back piece. So the old back piece that we got is just kind of there. It's like, I mean, I guess that looks okay. One thing that I never really noticed before is what's up with this big old opening there. And that was kind of the same for both of them, even though both of them might, I guess they are different. I always thought they were the same. There's definitely some similarities, but they're subtly different in there. Like, that's a weird opening right there, right? Like, why does it look like that? This one doesn't look as bad. It's just weird. So looking at this other one, it definitely a little bit more flamey, a little bit more detail flamey. I don't know that. That's kind of weird sounding. But there's more flames than this here. Like we get large flames in this one, but this one smaller flames and it's kind of shinier looking, a little bit brighter. I really like it. One thing that's weird though is it doesn't come off. It's glued on there. And that's kind of weird, right? Like, why wouldn't they make it to where you could take it off? I guess they really want to show, like, hey, he's on fire. He is the Human Torch. Like, it's made to be on there. Keep it on there kind of thing. And I'm okay with that, but I think it would have been nice to have the option, or maybe I'm just used to that being the case. Like, this one actually sucks because it falls off very easily. This one, it ain't even gonna come off. Like, you could try to pull it off, and no, it's not going to come off. And I'm trying to think of where they glue it, like if it's right at the shoulder. And then I'm also looking, I'm like, it might be part of the neck. So I don't know if this collar piece is truly a separate piece, or if they sculpted an entire new torso for this neck to be able to get this neck to actually be part of the collar piece. Because if you look, it looks like it's either keyed in or it's the same piece. Now, everyone's going to say, well, they could just retool it. Like, I think that would require a whole new mold. I could be wrong on that, but I think it's a whole new mold. And it's not like they have to do a lot. It would just be this upper torso piece, and that's it. Unless the neck were its separate piece, but as far as I can tell, it's not. Now, I cheated. I don't usually do this. I don't usually open figures before I review them. I opened him up and just pulled it out to look at that collar. That collar is full on one single piece on the Johnny Storm figure. And it's different. There's no keyed in section, no hole in the back or anything like that. So this, to me, makes it seem like it's a different upper torso. Obviously the same, just the collar being different. Is it a big deal either way? No, it's just I was surprised to see that it does not come off. Now these pieces are kind of freely moving in there, but again, not going to come off. Now looking at the arms, we got the hand pieces here, and the hand pieces look like they can come off because it looks like they're just wrapped around the hand, right? Not glued in because you got it in the palm of the hand. Oh, at first I thought it was glued on. It's not. You can actually remove them. So if you don't want the flame on the hand, you don't have to have the flame on the hand. I feel like you kind of want the flame on the hand because it looks cool. Uh-oh. Now that I took it off, I got to work that thumb back in there. Ooh, that's kind of a pain. I don't recommend doing that, taking it off. Okay, it's not as bad. I just made it seem like it was far worse than it actually was. There's this floating wrist piece here. I'm like, what is that? That's that alert watch notification thing that the team has. So we do get that in the translucent orange. And then the forearms have these flame pieces, and these are just floating pieces. If you pop the hands off, you could pull those flames off if you wanted to. So if you don't want the flames on there, you don't have to have them on there. But I feel like Human Torch, you would want them on there, right? Like, it makes sense to me to have them on there. The fist here, it looks like it's a glued on piece. So that one's not really coming off. So on the fist, it's glued on, not coming off. Like, you could peel it off, you could pop the glue, you could do that, I'm sure. The extra accessories is we get the other fist, so we get the fist for the left, and then the right, we do get that same open hand, so for flight poses when he's flying out, Johnny Storm, when he's flying, he could have the hands out. So those are the accessories that he comes with, unless I'm losing anything, because in the Silver Surfer, she does come with two fists. I just had lost one and didn't realize, so that's what's going on there. Ooh, I like that blue light that I got going on. That makes the Silver Surfer look kind of cool. It's almost as if she's actually silver when she's not quite silver enough. But Johnny Storm, he's the definite winner of the wave for me. We got the boots in here, and the funny thing is this little flame piece on the top of the boot, that just looks like it's glued on there, and then you get this flame effect piece here for his feet that kind of come around the ankles. It fully wraps around, it can swivel and everything like that. So if you really wanted to work this off, I'm sure there's a way without cutting it. It's not something that I'm going to care about doing it, but it's cool that it's on there, and then you can kind of move it around as you see fit. So that is the Human Torch. Definitely going to be the best figure in the wave, at least for me. All right, so let's go over the articulation for the Human Torch. One thing that is unfortunate, because you get the big back flame effect piece in there, what's going to happen is that's going to hinder the head from going... Oop, I popped it off. From going up as much as you would want it for flight poses. Like, like if you're kind of doing that, he's not looking straight out, and it's because the flame actually just kind of gets in the way. So that's unfortunate. So we can only look up that much there. He can look down that much there, so that actually works out pretty well. You get a full rotation in there, and there's not really a whole lot of pivot going on in that head. The shoulder, you can get the arm to go straight out that much there. You get a full rotation in there. You have the upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed pinless elbow gives you that much bend there at the elbow. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge, standard horizontal hinge on the fists as well as the straight open flight hands. We have the diaphragm cut similar to Mr. Fantastic. So of course it's kind of redundant. We get the swivel at the waist, swivel at the diaphragm. We can get Johnny to Human Torch to tilt to his left that much there. We can get him to tilt to his right that much there. And then he can lean back only a little bit, and then he can come forward only a little bit. You would have to work the hips. You can get him to come down that far forward. Again, swivel, double swivel in there. Legs go out that far apart. So we could do the full-on split, so that's pretty good. But can he kick far forward more than Mr. Fantastic, more than Reed? That's probably more than Reed. It's still not a lot, though. Let's look at Reed. Reed was like nothing. No, that's about the same as Reed. Because you know what? The legs might actually even be the same altogether. Like, I don't... No, the legs are different because there are different sculpted detail in there. Maybe the hip pieces are the same? No, the hip pieces are different too. They just don't kick very far forward, and that's kind of unfortunate. So that sucks that, you know, we don't get a lot of kick forward. You have an upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend there. Similar to Reed, Mr. Fantastic, there is no boot swivel. Although, I'm looking, it looks like it might have been a separate piece. Yeah, it may have been a separate piece, but then why not do a swivel? Like, it makes no sense. If you're going to bother sculpting and having two different pieces, why not make it swivel? That makes no sense to me. Like, it wouldn't have cost any different to make it swivel, right? Like, I can't be the only one that thinks that way, right? Because if you already sculpted two separate pieces, had to key it in and have the piece that connects it, you had to have that. Why would you just not then make it round so it could swivel? That makes no sense to me. Why would we not get it? Is it super necessary? I would say probably not. Is it beneficial to have? Absolutely. And we didn't get it, and I don't understand. I really don't. Foot hinges all the way down. We get some good hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So pretty good articulation, except we got shafted out of boot swivel, and then the double redundant diaphragm and waist when they could just, you know, I don't know why Hasbro doesn't do it, give us a ball joint at the waist to allow some better movement. But there we go. But despite that, still a great looking figure. Okay, so our side by side comparison here, we have the Walgreens exclusive comic Human Torch, the retro or vintage Fantastic Four Human Torch. We do have other Johnny Storm figures. We actually have two others. So if I do a comparison with that, again, and I don't open figures, you know, ahead of time to show you guys the MCU Johnny Storm to do that comparison. So for now, this is what I got. And then this Fantastic Four one was kind of the in between where he's got some flame pieces and some that are not there. So Johnny Storm, Human Torch. Okay, and of course we have our Fantastic Four so far. Again, the next video will be the Johnny Storm Power Down figure. But here, again, Mr. Fantastic, Silver Surfer from the MCU, Marvel Studios, the Fantastic Four first steps. And they're looking pretty good together. I'm excited to have the team fully together, even if I feel like some of the figures may be a little lackluster. I still like having the representation from the movie, you know, or show, whatever it is, anything from the MCU. So, Mr. Fantastic was a bit of a letdown for me. Silver Surfer, she's okay. A super articulated female body should have been the way they went. And then an actual silver color would have been much, much better. But the Human Torch, I'm really happy with it, despite the lack of boot swivel. I'm still really happy with it because I think he looks great. I think he may even look better than these two because of the way the flames look, whereas like the painted on flame was just a dark orange, whereas we get that true gradient translucent coloring in there. We get the added flames to the legs, where this one didn't have the flames to the legs. This one did, and I guess it was okay. It's just, you know, Bucky cap. So at the time, it was good. But man, this new MCU one, really liking it. You could probably fudge it for your comic figure if that's what you wanted to. I think he was a little bit shorter. No, he's about the same height, especially with that flame hair going on. So I'm really happy with it. You guys let me know. Okay, so that is my review of the Marvel Legends series, Marvel Studios, the Fantastic Four First Steps, Human Torch, Johnny Storm figure. Definitely going to be the figure of the wave for me. I really like it. Hopefully you guys would like it. Maybe you can fudge it for your comic display. You guys let me know what you guys think of it down in the comments below. But man, I'm happy with the way it came out. While, you know, there are some shortcomings, I am pleased with the way it looks. I think it looks great. The flame effects, everything about it. Really, really cool looking. But you guys give me your thoughts. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching. Flame on.